you
Hey, girl,
doing?
how you doing?
I'm doing good. Get back.
Look, my sister said I'm getting too close to the computer.
Get back, get back, get back, get
I didn't know I was doing that.
back. Here we go. Hey.
Anyway, what's going on? How you doing?
I was sitting up here thinking about credit. Only reason why I'm thinking about it is because a stupid Credit Karma commercial came on. And every time I see that commercial, I'll be like, well, let me check my credit. I need to be checking my credit and make sure I'm doing a good job, you know. So I was checking my credit and I'm all like, it needs some work. So I need to get on the ball. And the only way to do that, I think, I don't know, you could tell me because you know more about it than I do. But the only way to get on the ball is to start getting like maybe small credit cards or big credit cards or to help build up your credit so that you have more credit and not less.
Well, okay. Only thing that I can say about that is, when I was, I'm gonna say 18 or 19, I was trying to buy me a new car, and something was on my credit, and I'm like, I've never had any credit, so I don't even know what this is. Found out it was something else, so that's what was preventing me from getting a new car. And I decide at a young age, please, folks, don't do what I did. That was the worst thing you could ever do. Um, I'm a file bankruptcy. I don't know how I knew about bankruptcy. Never knew. But I went ahead and filed it. And even the lawyer said, are you sure you want to do this? Look, girl, it was $1,200 worth of stuff on my credit that, made me feel like I couldn't get a new car. Little did I know once I filed bankruptcy, it was because I was young and had never had credit. So
Right,
that's why my credit score was so low. I didn't know that, you know,
right.
because like I said, I never applied for a credit card. Um, but I did anyway, cleared off my credit. Maybe 15 days later, 30 days later, I started getting offers from different credit card companies. And of course, I applied and
Right.
got all these different credit cards to where I was getting 3,500 here, 2,500 there. Okay, I got these credit cards. I wasn't really familiar with APRs, those high interest rates. I wasn't familiar with that. So I didn't realize that I was paying a high interest rate. And, so anyway, I started using those credit cards, maxing those credit cards, getting other credit cards. Boom. Uh, had to file again. Bankruptcy. This time I'm at 5,000. Please, folks, don't do what I did. Because the only time you really should consider bankruptcy is if you're in, like, if you're at a number like 12 to 15,000 dollars, not no little $5,000. you know.
Right.
But I did, and I'm gonna tell you, I got more offers, and I started getting more credit, this and that and whatever and blah blah blah. And at this time, I was getting credit cards from like Discover, American Express, Chase, JP Morgan Chase. I was able to get approved for loans. Now, this was years later. When I say years later, you know, not so that you guys can calculate my age, but maybe 20 years later. I decide to go ahead and apply for these credit cards. I got approved, and girl, $30,000 worth of credit cards. Now I'm gonna tell you, this is what I learned. A judge told me this. The second time that I filed bankruptcy, he said, "Look, if you ever have any problems with making a payment on any of your credit cards, just send them $1." This is a judge. He said, just send them $1. He said, if they return
Right.
that dollar, now this is what the credit card companies don't want you to know. He said, if they return that dollar, guess what? It gets deleted off your credit card. I'm sorry, off your credit report, you know. So whatever you can make, 5 cents, 10 cents, no, don't do that. But anyway, $1, two, $5, send them something on the day that is due. And believe me, they're not going to return it, because if they return it, then they're going to be like, we get to delete this. But a company that I went through
Right.
to help me fix my credit was Lexington Law Firm. LexingtonLawFirm.com. Great company. Because let's say you have medical bills on your credit. Okay, now what the providers do is they sell your medical information to another person, yeah, another company, and then they sell it off to another company. Guess what? It's illegal for any of your medical information to be sold off to anybody. So guess what? All that deleted, null and void. So, but my advice as far as trying to establish credit or getting credit is to first um, see what you got on your credit report, work from there. Me personally, I'm going to suggest to anybody and everybody go to LexingtonLawFirm.com because they work for you. You can get the $29.99, the $39.99, or whatever. I did the $99.99 because then that way they did everything, you know. And then slowly but surely, I lowered my monthly payment, and that was a monthly payment. And then my credit was good. They were able to get my credit. Well, I don't know if it was them or me. Who knows? But they were able to get my credit score up to a 816. And now these days 816 is probably considered good or
Yeah.
somewhat excellent. Really, not really. Because the score keeps going up. So, but it's all about making your monthly payments on time. If you can make your monthly payments on time, then so be it. Do it. Do what you got to do. And as far as making a bill payment, instead of using your cash, make that payment on your credit card and use your credit card to make that bill payment. That way you still have cash on hand. You know what I mean? So, but it didn't take
Yeah.
that long. I'm telling you, everybody can do it because now these days it's going to be a credit worthy, world. So I think we all need to start being conscientious about it.
Yeah. I think we already at a credit worthy world. I think we already there.
Right. So, but
Well,
I wanted to talk about home the homeless. You
right.
know how it's increased, over the years, and how we're not really doing anything about it. I mean, we truly aren't. And
Yeah.
when I say not doing anything about it, I'm not talking about just giving that person over there on the corner talking about you know, I will work, for whatever you give me or whatever, you know. I'm talking about families,
Mm.
that are homeless. And that's not to say that those people on the corner talking about I will work for money, whatever, blah blah. Anything that you can give will be greatly appreciated. I'm talking about why is it that we say we got all these jobs available for us, for our people, for anybody, you know, to where we still see so many homeless and it's increased.
Yeah.
Because I met somebody
Yeah.
that um, became homeless, but they were a business owner, you know what I mean? And they lost everything. And that's sad. That's truly sad. And it's like, wow, for real. And I'm going to tell you, he said all he wanted was a meal. Believe it or not, I walked into that restaurant, got him a meal, came back out, gave him a meal, an extra meal, and two drinks. And he went over there and tore it up and fed his dog. Because, of course, some of us have pets, you know, and fed his dog. Oh my gosh, girl. Broke my heart. I've even taken a person into my own home, you know, who was willing to, you know, do what they needed to do to get back on their feet. And me, because I'm a truck driver, I know it's easy if you don't have any criminal background that the trucking world doesn't uh, really consider bad. Um, you can get into that because guess what? You can live in that truck,
Yeah.
make your money and live in that truck. That truck is like a studio apartment, So, and he did it. He became a truck driver, and now he's doing really good.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
yeah. So, but I want to say this, please, folks, don't knock the homeless. Because not everybody is up to no good. It's not just because of drugs and whatever. I mean, just think about what they just came from and why they doing the drugs so they can stay alert for whatever's going on out there on the street because the street don't sleep.
Nope, sure don't.
But that's what I want to bring up. What are your thoughts?
Well, I've always felt like that when it comes to homeless people because it's a lot of the time it's not the person's fault, it's the circumstances that they were in. And I think what some people say is, well, they got themselves in those circumstances. Sometimes you go in unwittingly. You might have a job, you might get a job working for some company that decides, it's going to belly up, and then you have no job, you can't pay no rent, you can't get a job, there's no places around to help you pay your rent, and then all of a sudden you're out on the street.
I mean,
You
what's
know,
that?
it's
What's that
it's
movie that Will Smith was in with his son, Jaden?
um wasn't it happy?
No, but it was a movie that he was in with his son,
Yeah,
Jaden. Unfortunately,
yeah, they were became homeless.
yeah, and I can't remember the name of that movie, but guess what? Did he mean to put himself homeless with his son?
No,
You know what I
of
mean?
course not. Right.
So anything can happen. So while you out there high on your horse,
Yeah.
man, as high as you go up, the lower you can go down.
Yeah. Yeah. The body shall always fall.
But be careful.
Always.
Yeah. So
Well, let's move on to something happy. Happy, happy.
okay. What would you
The pursuit of happiness.
ah! So you were
Yeah.
right. She was right,
Yeah.
folks. Sorry, she was right.
It was called happy.
Oh my God. But it was it was, oh my God.
Girl, it broke my heart too. I know.
Broke
You
my,
became a millionaire.
yes,
You
yes.
became a millionaire. That's something else right there. Well,
Okay,
what is this? Remember we were talking about going to work?
okay.
All right, I remember back in the day, I was 18, and it was my first big wig job. And I worked in downtown LA from
You know,
Los Angeles, and I was working for the Metro. And I used to have to get up because I lived in Pasadena, and then LA was 45 minutes away, but that was without traffic.
right.
So I used to have to get up at 4 in the morning,
Mm.
take my shower, do my makeup, do my hair, do my clothes, hurry up and get to the bus by 5:35, get on the bus, and it would take us 2 hours to get to work. So I would get to work, and then on top of that, the bus would drop me off 2 blocks away from where I worked. So I would have to walk 2 blocks where all the uh, craziness would go on. Because Hope and Sixth back then was not a pretty street.
It is now, but you absolutely right. It sure wasn't.
No, and it had a lot of drugs and prostitutes, and so I would have to, weave my way through the drug guys and the prostitutes, and because it's still, it's light, but it's not as light as it could be. You got all those tall buildings anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Anyway, so I was remembering that the other day, and I was all like, you used to, because then I'd have to walk 2 blocks. I would have to run 2 blocks to catch the bus back home because it came at the time, like right at the time I got off work. So
Wow.
I would have to run
Mm.
and then get on that bus.
Okay. Well, speaking of prostitutes, look, let me tell you, I gotta bring it up because it was funny. Now, it wasn't funny when it happened, but it's funny now. Okay, now you know how I lived in Hollywood, and mind you, folks, I lived there for like 11 years. But at the time, I had just moved there maybe 6 months before this happened. Okay, well, anyway, I used to have to catch the bus early in the morning, like you said, 4 in the morning,
Yeah.
to get to downtown LA because I worked down in one of those high rises, and Drea, I was standing on the corner, waiting for you. She was standing on the corner. Anyway, uh, I was waiting for the bus to come. Now, before the bus came, I see a police car across the street. So, this was Sunset Boulevard, by the way. Anyway, I see a police car across the street. And they just sitting there, and I'm like, why aren't they driving? You know what I mean? They were just sitting there. And so, next thing you know, they drove, pulled up. Thanks God I had on what I had on. But let me tell you what I had on. Okay. Mind you, folks, I had on a suit, but without the jacket, so all you see is a skirt that goes a little bit above the knees and then my shirt. You know what I mean? So, hair did, whatever. Looking like, to me, I'm looking like I'm going to work. These fools said, so, what are you doing? I'm waiting on the bus to go to work. Oh, okay. You sure you working? Yeah, I'm working. Okay, well, there's a lot of prostitutes out here, so are you one of them? What? Oh my gosh, I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed. I was only a size 5, so I was little. So everything that I had on looked little, you know.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to work. I work. This is what I said. I'm glad that I had my badge. I work at Transamerica.
I heard that.
And he was like, they were like, okay, because there's a 16-year-old across from you. Now she was across the street, and I'm looking at her. She looked like she going to work too. She's a known prostitute, girl. My
Well,
heart dropped. Like,
yeah,
wow. She was a beautiful young lady. Like, wow, for real. I'm
yeah,
so sorry that you had to do what you do. I
yeah.
said, oh, that's not me. I have to go to work. I have to be there at 6, and the bus comes at 4:30. So, oh my God, girl, that was horrible. Anyway, I just had to bring that up. Crazy. It was embarrassing. It was crazy, but at the same time, you start feeling for the folks that really have to go out there and do what they do to survive,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And I was
yeah,
really saddened for her. Like, wow, at 16. Wow.
yeah. She was a baby. Dang, she was a baby.
So,
Wow.
but also, too, how would you describe, or no, this is what I wanted to know. For Facebook, YouTube, anybody, Drea's yawning. She's tired. By the way, she's been up for a minute, so she's trying to play it off. Anyway, um, what would or how would your friends describe you or say about you? Friends and family would say about you. That's what I wanted to know.
Oh, wow. Well, let's see.
Wait a minute.
Uh,
Hold on, 1 second.
I think.
Hold on 1 second, Drea. I'm sorry. Okay, put me on hold. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry.
Well, I think we're back. Sorry about the delay, y'all.
Sorry.
So I think when people describe me, they will say when I was young, they would say I was funny, I was crazy, I would just you could dare me to do anything, I would do it. Um, I was tough and gruff, and because I was such a tomboy that I was a tomboy. Yeah, and then I got a little older, and I say in my 20s, I was a partier. I was a lot of fun. Um, so, and then in my 40s, I'd have to say I got a little mellowed out. I mellowed completely out, I think, and I'm not as crazy, so
Right.
I think that's how people would describe me.
Well, my sister is in her 40s, and yes, I'm older than her, but I'm still in my 20s. Anyway, uh, I'm not
But
going to go past that.
tell them how people would describe you, crazy woman.
Okay. Back in the day, I used to be, like you said, in our teenage years, um,
Yeah.
I was quiet. I was shy. You know, I kind of held my personal feelings inside, and I stayed in the house. Although, don't get me wrong, yep, I went to the skating rink, I went to the animal house, I had a little fun here and there, did my little thing, so, but for the most part, I was a homebody and still am. I'm still a homebody, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as I got older, when I started working at my first so-called real job, in the corporate area, um, which is Transamerica. Um, a lady told me, she said, I needed to stop putting my head down because we had to dress up every day. So I wore heels, I wore suits, wore dresses, whatever. And she told me that I had to stop putting my head down because she said I was walking like this. Okay. Anyway, and I was like, oh, okay. So she said, you need to start lifting your head up, and being proud of the position that you're in and where you're at and who you are. And I appreciate what she gave that advice the advice that she gave me. And I've been doing that ever since. So now people might say that I'm more outgoing, outspoken. I speak my mind. I tell you what's on my mind, and I don't hold anything back. I don't care who you are. You could be like the owner of the company. I'm still going to voice my opinion,
Mhm.
because believe it or not, people, you can say how you really feel anywhere that you're at as long as you do it in a, let's just say, professional way, you know.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
and but that's who I am. And now I think I'm more funny, happy go lucky, you
Mhm.
know, type of person,
Right.
and or free will, you know, you know. You see what
Like,
I'm wearing, Back in the day, it would be a big shirt and you
uh,
would see anything up here.
yeah.
Not that I'm trying to show anything, and I'm not, but it's hot. So you see why I'm wearing
Right.
what I'm wearing.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Well, girl, I think we better get going. This is bless you.
Thank you. I'm
The end
sorry.
of our time. Everybody, you guys, we love you guys.
We love you.
And we hope that you join us again tomorrow. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Have a great one.
Okay, but
Bye.
did I come close? I'm just playing.
get, get, get back.